questions, blue, touch gloves, good luck, boys.
Round one of this contest between in the black and pink shorts from Garnet near Swansea, Chris Jenkins, and from Lithuania in the multicoloured shorts, EEDVINA's PUPLAUSKAS from Lithuania. Your referee, Mr. Chris Jones, and your commentators, myself, Ciaran Gibbons, and Oliver Smith from Boxing Asylum. It's a nice right hook to the body from Chris Jenkins. Chris, probably one of the most unluckiest boxers in British boxing. His career has been severely hampered by cuts. Hoping to get his career back on track. Been training with Guy Lockett for the last couple of years. Nice controlled start from Chris Jenkins, Oliver.
Yeah, it's a solid start by Chris Jenkins. He's looking to establish his jab, landed a couple of excellent shots already. I think this is an opponent where he wants to go out and really dominate. I mean, he's levels above PUPLAUSKAS, who we've seen on these shows before against Danny Wright, Bill O'Rayman. A lot of prospects coming up. Chris, he's a lot beyond the prospect there. A couple of good body shots there as well. And I think it's one from where if he can get the stoppage, he'll be excellent. But more to the point, getting a good 6 rounds if it does go the distance and not getting cut.
Yeah, PUPLAUSKAS was last stopped in 2017. A very experienced boxer, as Oliver was alluding to there. Boxed 126 rounds in his 26 contests, so he's shown a little bit of aggression there. Chris has to be careful, especially about his eyes. He gets cut regularly. There's a little bit of marking over Chris's right eye. I don't think it's an actual cut, but he's marking up. He doesn't want to take any unnecessary risks here, because I do believe he's got some big things lined up in the near future, and certainly a cut eye or a hand injury would hamper those plans. Lovely hooks to the body from Chris. Chris Jenkins, now 30 years old. It's a nice lead left uppercut from the Lithuanian fighter. That left hook from Chris straight a little bit low there, but our travelling fighter didn't really show any objection or complaint, to his credit. Chris turned pro in 2012, originally trained by his amateur trainer Ronnie Morris. Good controlled round from Chris Jenkins, but PUPLAUSKAS is not making it easy for Chris. He's having a go, he's throwing a few shots, he's making Chris thinking there, I think, Oliver.
I would completely agree with that, and whilst he took the round, he certainly didn't have it all his own way. Not that he was ever under threat, but PUPLAUSKAS landed a number of clean shots, and when we've seen him over here before, he's actually dropped a couple of prospects on the way up, so he's shown that he does come with some sort of ambition. He doesn't cover up, but a clear round for Chris Jenkins. I noticed there was a bit of a mark over that right eye, but it doesn't look too damaging, so no, a solid 10-9 round.
Yeah, I think in the past, Chris is he's like to excite. He's a very excitable character. He's an exciting boxer, and he gets too involved in a fight sometimes when perhaps he hasn't got to. So it was good to see a controlled round of boxing from Chris there. Here we go, round 2 from the Neon Centre in Newport, South Wales. Chris Jenkins in the pink and black shorts against PUPLAUSKAS in the yellow, green and red shorts. Triple P on the belt line. Some good jabs by Jenkins. Some nice hooks to the body. Chris in particular throws a good right hook to the body. PUPLAUSKAS turned pro in 2016. 26 fights, only 5 victories and 4 knockouts in those 5 victories and 21 losses. So he's a journeyman, but as we can see here, he's certainly no mug. He certainly knows his way around the boxing ring. This is a 6-round contest. It's a nice right hand by Jenkins.
It's a much better round from Chris Jenkins. This, I think, already he's started to up the ante a little bit, but from what we've seen in the first round already, it's a case of let's hit the opponent and not get caught. Whereas a few times in the first round, obviously it's cold in here, he's just warming into the fight. He did get caught a few times, whereas now I don't think the Lithuanians landed a meaningful shot at all. So it's good to see from Jenkins. He's using his qualities and he's slowly going through the gears. And like I said, he's got 6 rounds here to do that. So like I said, he's up the ante, quite comfortable against this opponent, and you never know, he might look to force a stoppage as the fight goes on.
Yeah, and as you said there, Oliver, I think the important thing for Chris in this fight is not to get cut, not to injure his hands, and to be ready to fight again relatively soon, which I think is the plan. Chris getting caught by a cuffing right hand. This is a very disciplined display of boxing from Chris Jenkins here in round 2. Nice double jab followed by the right hand by Jenkins again. Good boxing. I suppose the danger for Jenkins in this fight is, he, like you said, that's a good lead right hand, but I don't think the Lithuanian fighter was phased at all there. I suppose the danger for Jenkins is he forces the stoppage, and then I don't think there's any danger in him losing, but I suppose the danger is he'll get cut or he'll get hurt. So it's a bit of a tricky one, really.
Of course it is. I think what he can take from that round is a case of he rarely got tagged. I think PUPLAUSKAS landed the odd shot on the rope and a cuffing blow, which was more like, it looked like he pulled him down more than anything. But no, that was a solid round from Chris Jenkins, and one where, like I said, his skills have shown, and it can be difficult against opponents like this. Look, I mean, he's experienced the big nights boxing for British titles and fringe, you know, like intercontinental titles. So to come here, it is difficult against this sort of opponent. But already he's established his qualities, and I can't see anything else but a Jenkins win.
Yeah, and Chris's last fight was I think it was a draw due to cuts, and then the fight before that was a technical loss due to cuts as well. So protecting those eyes is the thing I would like to see Chris doing, and I think he's aware of that. Haven't watched Chris box from his early amateur days. I know he likes a fight, so it's probably difficult for him. He's going against his nature of just standing and trading. But I guess if you want to win titles, you want to go somewhere in boxing, you've got to show that discipline.
I couldn't agree more, and I think what people do forget about Chris Jenkins is he can box, and he had a decent enough amateur career and as a professional as well. And I think you mentioned at the start of the fight that he really did. He's just not had the lady luck on his sides. I mean, last time out against Dara Foley, in my opinion, he was winning the fight, but a horrendous cut meant it was just a technical draw, and a win like that really can propel you. So I think it's key not to avoid those sort of cuts, injuries, etc., things like that. Get the rounds under the belt, and then you can look at the big nights again, potential British titles, Commonwealth titles, anything like that, where you can get a proper count in and really take it to the opponent.
Chris working well with his jab, and the right hook in particular is landing well to the body. Chris back in 2013 won the Matto. Has a good couple of shots, and Jenkins doesn't want to be staying there on the ropes. He's trying to use head movement, but he's getting cuffed for those shots. That was a lovely right hand to the body, and the crowd oohed and ahed when that one landed. PUPLAUSKAS now is starting to breathe heavy as Chris goes through the gears. Yeah, as I was saying there, in 2013 when Chris won the prize fighter tournament, he seemed like he was ready for destined for big things. He had those couple of fights with Tyrone Nurse, and then things just seemed to start to go wrong for him in his career. He didn't seem to get any luck from that point on, really.
I think a big thing is with Chris Jenkins is that he's not got the name or like the backing from a big promoter. So when fighters, belt holders do look at him as a potential, defence or something like that, they think, well, I mean, in boxing these days, it's like, well, what's the value there? And I do think he's suffered a bit of that as well, but now he seems to have settled down. He's got a good manager in Mo Pryor, he's got Gary Lockett in the corner, and I think it's now they're getting the opportunities, and he now needs to start taking them. Obviously, he can't help but cut, but I think be more disciplined. I mean, we saw him just get into a bit of a scrap on the ropes there before, but came out seemingly unharmed. But no, it's a case of Chris, he's 30 now, let's step it up and start to take the opportunities.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of times now in this round Chris getting caught by silly shots, maybe shots he perhaps doesn't have to take. He's still certainly winning the rounds and winning the fight, but he got caught by a couple of shots in that round. Maybe he didn't have to take them, but I think that's Chris fighting against his nature to stand and fight, basically.
Completely agree, and we did see that, and he seemed to enjoy it, and he encouraged him to come on to him without, because clearly he feels, look, the power isn't hurting him, but at the same time he can't get too careless. It only takes one shot in boxing, he gets caught high on the head, behind the ear, on the chin, he wobbles, and it could be career in tatters. So it's another 10-9 round for Chris Jenkins, but probably one of the better rounds for PUPLAUSKAS at the moment.
Interesting to see that Chris is he's not actually using the corner stool there in the corner with Guy Lockett, who's also joined by former world champion Gavin Rees in the corner, two very experienced guys. Round 4 of this contest between Chris Jenkins from Garnant near Swansea and EEDVINA's PUPLAUSKAS from Lithuania. I'm joined by Oliver Smith from Boxing Asylum, and I believe Oliver's got Chris 3 rounds up so far.
Yeah, and like I say, it's 3 comfortable rounds, but whilst at the same time he's not had it all his own way, and I think that can be a good thing. Like I mentioned before, we see all too often sometimes, Eastern European opponents come over literally to collect the payday and they cover up, but PUPLAUSKAS is far from that. He's thrown some shots, he's caught Jenkins, and I think that is keeping Chris on his toes and showing that, and then he starts to utilise his skills rather than stand there, have no respect and put in a sloppy performance of sorts. Nice right hand there.
I think some of these Eastern European journeymen, they're actually very good fighters. It's just because of the economics of boxing, they don't sell tickets, they haven't got a big promoter. As Jenkins again gets caught by looping right hands. I mean, just due to economic reasons, they go on the road, and PUPLAUSKAS got to 21 defeats, but I mean, clearly he's a very skilled boxer. It's just that he makes his money just going on the road, facing guys like Chris Jenkins, I guess.
It's easy enough to do that, exactly like you said. Now, in terms of the economics, this is probably his full-time job. So he's out on the road, and I mean, if you don't get stopped, you can fight 4 times in England in 4 weeks. So, I mean, obviously there's different rules in different countries. So, I mean, if he can come over here and puts on a reasonably impressive performance, other promoters will use him because they know what they're getting, rather than an opponent that's going to come over here and literally just pick up a paycheck.
That's a nice left hand by Jenkins, timed it really well. The right hand slightly missed the target area, I think. Guy Lockett, Chris's trainer, encouraged him to let his hands go, I think, from what I can see in this corner there. Chris Jenkins' record, 24 fights, 19 wins, 8 by stoppage, and 3 defeats and 2 draws. That's good work from Jenkins, going to the body and switching to the head. I think this is probably the I was just going to say that the best phase of the fight for Jenkins in terms of being aggressive and not taking silly shots. And just as I say that, Chris takes a... I don't think they were actually scoring shots, they were more cuffing shots, but they certainly made an impact on Chris.
It did, and I think it's just a little note just to say, look, I'm still here, I'm not going anywhere. I think we saw just earlier in the round Gary Lockett willed him to come forward when he landed. It looked sort of like a sharp left hook, and he said, come on, come forward, and he didn't do that. Maybe he's gone against what he wants to do and get involved with the war there, but Gary Lockett clearly felt that PUPLAUSKAS was there for the taking. What I have been interested with is Jenkins' jab. He's used it a lot and he's looking to bounce off a lot of that as well, but it looks like a bit of a ramrod stiff jab, not, you know, just pouring it out from where you can't get anywhere, and that's something that he's probably been working on in the gym, and it's clearly having a big effect. I mean, if you can have a good jab, you can go a long way. So another clear round for Chris Jenkins, and one. I think we've got 2 rounds left now. Will we see him step it up? Gary Lockett's animated. We'll wait and see now.
Just interesting to note there, Gary Lockett seemed to be encouraging Chris to go to the body, from we could work out from his body language in the corner there between the rounds. And also Chris was stretching his legs, so I don't know, maybe he's feeling a little bit of cramp. Maybe his legs are tightening up a little bit. Jenkins gets warned to keep his punches up by the referee, Chris Jones from Swansea. PUPLAUSKAS momentarily turned southpaw, then thought better of it, so switched back. Sometimes in some of Chris Jenkins' past fights there's been clash of heads, but I think Chris is clearly working on tactics to try and avoid that happening, obviously, because the issues he's had with cuts in the past. I think, as you were saying there, Oliver, Chris has used the jab really intelligently in this fight, mixing it up, mixing the variant levels of power, mixing to the head and body as well.
He's showing he's not just a one-trick pony, you know, a straight jab leading off with the right hand over the top. He's targeting the body and then he's going back to the head. A nice right hand there, which was partially blocked by PUPLAUSKAS. No, I've been impressed with Chris Jenkins. Like I said, this fight was extremely short notice. He's a naturally fit lad, but at the same time you can't buy for, you know, sparring time and ring time. So in terms of, it was a short notice fight, but I'm quite impressed. And I think there's credit to the opponent there as well. Look, like I said, great shot there by Jenkins, excellent uppercut.
Yeah, good series of punches by Jenkins. He takes one himself as he goes to the ropes. He whips a left hook to the body as PUPLAUSKAS fires back a couple of shots of his own just to let Jenkins know he's still there. Jenkins momentarily looks towards his corner. I wasn't quite sure what that was about. It's interesting to see that PUPLAUSKAS, he doesn't actually, the number of shots he blocks with his gloves and his arms, he's very skillful in what he does. He's not an easy fighter to break down. Nice looping right hand by Jenkins. Another Chris Jenkins round. The fight's following a similar pattern now, round by round, I think, as we get ready for the 6th and last round. Jenkins is controlling it with his jab, landing good shots, particularly the right hook to the body is very good. And then the Lithuanian throws a few shots, and Jenkins takes a couple of blocks, and then just goes back to the jab.
It is, yeah. It's becoming quite predictable, to be honest. I'd say like the 5th round there probably was. It's probably one of the most least entertaining in the sense of it was pretty easy to read. The opponent's clearly tiring now. Jenkins working on things. Gary Lockett's calling for like an overhand shot, like a cuffing coming down shot, and I saw when he landed one, he's saying that's right, Chris. So I wouldn't be shocked to see that again. But no, another clear round for Jenkins, and I can't see round 6 being any different, to be honest.
Chris Jenkins is a happy man in his work. He gave Gavin Rees a kiss there as he was about to leave the corner. Here we go, 6th and final round of this contest between Chris Jenkins in the black and pink shorts and PUPLAUSKAS, if that's how you pronounce his name, from Lithuania in the multicoloured shorts. If you're just joining us, it's been a good display from Jenkins, or he has been caught momentarily like this. Guy Lockett encouraging Jenkins to move off the ropes. And this is classic Chris Jenkins, just standing in trade, and he starts to unload some heavy shots. I know Jenkins would love to get a stoppage here, but as I've said from the start of the fight, really the important thing is for Jenkins not to get cut and not to injure his hands. One thing Chris Jenkins does really well, he keeps the range very good. He always stays just where he needs to be to land his shots.
Yeah, I agree with that, and he picks his shots well, and what we have seen is that he's not felt uncomfortable on the ropes. We've seen 3 times in the fight now where he's had his back on the ropes, and PUPLAUSKAS has really teed off on him, but he's seemed comfortable. He's blocked the majority of the shots as well, and the only ones that have gone through are the cuffing ones from back behind the head of sorts. But he's looked comfortable, and I mean, we saw then the opponent eventually backed off, and Chris banged his gloves together and said, "Come on." So we can clearly see he's comfortable, and he responded just straight after that with a barrage of shots himself. If he gets him out of here, I'll be extremely surprised. There's not long left in the fight now. I think it's just a case of getting through the last minute and a half or so. No cuts, no hand injuries, just take a clear points win.
Yeah, as you said there, Oliver, Chris actually banging his gloves together just to almost invite the fight. I think Chris is one of those guys, he loves nothing more than having a tear up. He really enjoys his boxing. As the fight draws down now to a last minute or so, a really good performance by Chris Jenkins. Good use of the jab, good right hooks to the body in particular. Good uppercut and another looping right hand by Jenkins landed on the side of the head. Doesn't want to get careless now as the fight draws down to the end. So there we have it. I believe it's a comfortable Chris Jenkins win, Oliver.
Yeah, I can't see anything else from him apart from a 60-54. That was a good run out for him, that. Like I said, it was a short notice fight. The opponent clearly, while saying come to win is probably the wrong turn of phrase, but he was there, he made it a fight. Like I say, it was a good run out for Chris Jenkins. He worked on things, and most importantly, he didn't get cut. He didn't look to suffer any other injuries. So like I said, a good run out, certainly shook off some ring rust and a clear points win.
6 rounds of boxing. Winning out we've got the so-calls. Over the floor with 60 points to 54 points. Ladies and gentlemen, guys, Chris Jenkins!
So Chris, 6 rounds points victory, no hand injuries, no cuts. How do you assess your performance?
When I bought box last, I think it was August. It was only 2 rounds that was, but I'm just happy now to get back in. I haven't trained for 11 weeks. Only take that even really got told was last week. I haven't trained for 11 weeks. I come back, I've been about 8 days in the gym, dropped about 19 pounds. But it's nice to get out tonight. Shows what I am, but you know, I just glad to get out. Don't want to be busy as hell now.
Is it a sense of relief to you that you've got the win, you haven't got any cuts which have just sort of plagued your career really for the last year or so?
Yeah, I don't know how I look tonight, but Gary said I look like boxing beautifully, but I think the guy boss boxing good at times when they win have a scrap, and I heard him shouting, calm down, but then he shows tonight now, I had no cuts, I didn't really get caught when I was on the ropes just practicing things, but you know, the guy, I'm not going to fucking bullshit him, I'm sorry about my swearing, but he's not a world champion, he's a journeyman. I've been in the ring for 6-8 months, get the cobwebs off, let's start moving on now.
A couple of times there, it looked like you were going to let the old Chris Jenkins off the leash, so to speak, and just have a tear up, but then you sort of regained your discipline a couple of times.
Yeah, that's all Gary. That's all Gary, because at the end of the day, the shape of my head, I'm going to get cut as soon as I go in there. Once or twice he come in, I'm reaching my hands up, but you know, I'm learning. I'm 30, but I'm still learning, so it's good.
Cheers, Chris, and good luck for the future, and hopefully you finally get your big break.
Hopefully, guys. Thank you, bud. Thank you for tonight, mate.